Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground, then it go off. Yeah.
Hi, and welcome back to The Conscious Day Trader. Today, I said that I was going to make a vlog. However, the action on the pound dollar is a bit more interesting today. So I thought I'll give you the build up from Friday. We were talking about how we were in a bit of a drawdown, and I want to show you how that played out. Obviously, we managed out of the trade, and in the combination of Monday and Tuesday, we made profits of roughly $800, so $791.20. This is after after commissions from the broker. So yeah, let's jump on to the TradeSync first. And if you're wondering what TradeSync is where I do my journal, how I put all this, I export all this information, put it into the journal, and keep this nice and tidy, and it will look something like this. And here we are on the dashboard of TradeSync. We can see we had 5 trades yesterday and 5 were closed today. And there you can see it. There you have it. We had the discussion and analysis of the pound dollar yesterday, and we were discussing how we had some profit, but we were looking at to improve that, because we're roughly looking for $400 to $500 to make up for the money that we're looking for on each month. We can change this view with this grid here, and we can go on to grid view or list view, and that would give you different views on the dashboard, commission included, because we want to see how much we are making after the commissions from the broker. We're currently in the 17th, made the 382, which was the breakdown yesterday. And today we're going to break down how we got out of it. A lot of people, it's always interesting when you do something live and you see a little bit of drawdown. Questions come in. It's like, oh, wow, what are you going to do when you have your first red day? We're still all green days from 1st of January. And there's no magic pill. It's just me being patient and evolving and maturing as a day trader. When you understand your process and what you need to do to become a better and consistent trader, you will start seeing the green days, depending on your strategy as well. Your strategy might accept having losing days. For instance, someone like me on the 13th here, I had $94.50 on one trade, and 200 on this. So this week I didn't make so much money like I'm used to. It normally gives me a total of the week. I need to change something, I believe. I'm not sure why it's not showing that. I'll look into that. I'm not sure why it's not giving me the totals, but normally it does. So this is the return on the investment, or return on my month. So I'll take the grid away, and I do like this list because it shows you everything there. We can go in individual days, or we can look at overviews. So we can go here on this report, and you can look at an overview of the account, which includes all my trades. Now we can see this nice progression upwards in terms of profits, and you can see it in a line graph. If you have any dips, that's why we don't see a lot of dips, because we don't have a lot of losing days. Well, any losing days, but we do like close for some losing positions, but overall the trade is green on the day. And you get some cumulative rates, biggest lost, best return on a long position, and so on. So much information. You also get some analysis. So if we go on, let's say weekday, it gives me a bit of an insight, and that's really, really cool. I love this. Impact of 19% on your net return with 2,443 profits on Mondays, and with entry prices between 122 and 124. You've got some really detailed information there that you can go on and utilize. And you can hover over and you can see Mondays is 2,700, Tuesdays and so on. You can look at P&L, you can look at mistakes if you're tracking your mistakes, profit factors, and so on. What else we can do? What is also cool, if you go here on manager, you can start doing your own analysis and saying, I want to know how I trade. We can put rules in, and you can put a new rule in like this and let's call it London Open. And then I want to manage from, let's go 1st of March until April 30th. Select portfolio. So now we've got our portfolio in there, which is our current trades. I want to see what would happen if I added a filter and it only gave me Monday's trades. So if I traded only Mondays, so all this information is going off, so all the red are other days, I would have been making $1,778. And this is quite a cool thing that you can add. I'm just giving you an example there on days, but you can do size. So you can go in and say, if I'm trading, I only trade one lot. So if I had half lots, see how that affects the performance. So you're doing detailed analysis on your portfolio. And it also, if you look at the bottom here, it gives you, if I only traded Mondays, I would have lost 62% of my profits, which makes sense because I'm only trading one day in that week. What else can I do? I can add another filter and deselect all. Let's save. Add information. And what we're going to do is, let's go to hours. And I want to trade only from 7 a.m. until 11. I can add that filter into my prediction and see if I only traded those days, I would have made 1,327. And you can play like this. These are all these trades that weren't in that time zone are red and green, so that trades based with the filter that followed the plan. And it's I haven't seen anything like it. It's super intuitive. You can add like mistakes if you do mistakes, if there's a certain time of the day, certain day, what assets, what side. Let's do side. So I want to see if I only took longs and I traded. Let's add filters, take the time away. I'm going to add one more filter, and I want to do my trading hours, which is, let's do afternoon. So after lunch until 11. So I'm going to include all these hours and see how many longs positions I've had in the afternoon session. Not a lot. So that's telling me something that for the longs. Now let's change that filter and go short, or we can take both and see. Overall, we had 1,855, and you can see later in the season, I am doing more afternoon trades compared to in the beginning on the 6th or the 4th compared to the 18th. So that's something that you might start looking and analyzing. So if you don't want to do all this analysis by yourself, you get these cool little tips or insights on the right side. And now I've gone on the chart of the hourly report. And that's going to give me what hour, 5 o'clock here, I've had my most losses, $460. My best profits, 115 are coming from the open, obviously because I'm trading the London kill zone. Impact of 12% on your net return with 1,536 profits at 5 p.m. and on swing trades. Trades at 5 p.m. and on swing trades have potential. Those trades have represented a total percentage change of 12% on your overall account, bringing you an average winning net return of 512, averaging 369 more than the rest of your trades. These are 3 trades on this range. So it's telling me this information, 12% impact from 3 trades out of these, the sample that we have on this month. And it's really cool information. You can very quickly look at what month. Let's do only this month, apply that, and it will just give me insights for this month. If I wanted to do a previous month, last month, apply, it's going to do this, and it will give me that report. Then I can export this report with whatever I want on there. I don't know, I need to take that filter out. And that's going to give me that information, export it in dashboards. You can share it or whatever you want to do, and save it as pictures and so on. Now, something that we don't use as Forex traders, but it's really cool for this, is you can do market replay. So it's only available for stocks. So you go in and you can replay your trade, your entries and everything. You don't have to do anything. It's all in there because it's got the information from your fivers, and then all you're doing is just replaying your trades. Historically, pretty cool. Evaluators. So this is another one. You can evaluate your trades here, and we can see we've got our days here: Mondays, most profits, followed by Thursdays. The least profits are on Wednesdays for some reason. So why Wednesdays? Maybe it's something that I need to look into. And you've got everything here you can analyze and sort of I haven't tracked this for a while, but I used to track this. Mark open, continuation, reversal, continuation. This is information that you could track in individual trades. Another cool thing that you can go here, I have to move my camera so you can see it. We're going to go on this last side. What we can do, there's so many interesting things that pop up on this chart, like something here as well. Focusing on the setup times, volume and price described below could lead to a profit increase. Below, we'll see how on point your latest 15 trades have been respected to what you should be focusing on. Focus of the week, what's these? 16 different parameters, focus on the hour and so on. 8 out of 15, and you can view that report by clicking on that on the rules. So it's taken what I put in here and it's presented it into my dashboard. But let's go now on hold time. That's another area where are we holding trades for too long? I can go on hold time, still choose my filters in, so I need to remove all the filters. That would give me everything for my account. And most holds between 31 minutes to 1 hour and 59 have given me the most profits. So about 2 hours. As it gets longer, we can see the profits decrease apart from here, 4 hours to 8 hours. So some swing trades this month. Worst impact of 100% on your percentage return with a loss of 1.83% with durations between 16 to 2 days. So when I've held more than 16 hours, it's a good sign that I need to get out of those trades if I'm holding more than 16 hours. Your worst trades, whether with the duration of 16 hours, those trades have represented a total loss of this. Those trades produce losses of 6% less than the rest of your trades. Really, really cool information. And there you go. That's a little bit of everything that you saw there. But let's go back on our calendar, and then we're going to jump onto our trades. I thought it would be a nice opportunity to share you a little bit about this journal. If you want to use anything of this or you want to try it, you can go into the link below. I think you get like 40%, which is a pretty good deal. It's quite expensive. I can't remember what I'm paying for it, but I mean, it's not more than 1 days of trading for the whole year. So for what I'm getting, one click button and it gives me all this information, I think is a good deal. So if you want to trial this, I think you get a trial, and then for, is it a month or 7 days? I can't remember. Go and check it out. And if you like it, then that gives me a bit of a commission, which is a win-win scenario, to thank me for all the good work I'm doing. I'm just kidding. You don't have to. Only if this is useful to you, and you don't have to use my affiliate link either. It's something that I only talk about things that work for me, and it's only fair to say if it's good or bad. So I'm still using it, and therefore I'm talking about it with you guys. So that being said, let's jump on to the fivers. You know what our target is. Our target is to become that first trader who's going to be trading 4 million account from the bootcamp. I don't know of anyone who has done that yet. So what's happened in the previous milestones, every month we have been hitting those milestones. We'll see we're currently 45%, so we're still on target, I would say. We've still got a good amount of days for this month to pass the next milestone, which they will give me 250,000 account. We're currently sitting on 213,000. As you can see now, the withdrawal is ready if I want to take money out, and I can take out up to $12,000 if I wanted now, and that would be into my account pretty instant. They're very good. However, if you want it really instant into your deal account, you can request 5,000, and you can do that twice a month, which will give you 10K a month. That's not bad. Or you can do they have a different process for anything above 6,000, which is, I think, on Wise they do those transfers. So there you go. This is our progress. Really nice graph. We are running on 86% win rate, and you've got all the information that you normally get on the Fivers. So let's jump on to pound dollar. Let's see what happened from yesterday, because yes, it was a bit of a tricky trade. We were in a little bit of drawdown, not too much and nothing too scary. But if we jump on to TradingView, here we are, and this is the live data. The reason I'm looking at live data is because we might trade live. I know a lot of you like seeing live trades and understanding how we're taking positions and so on. So if that opportunity comes whilst we're doing this analysis, I will show you a live trade, because we closed our positions from yesterday, which has given us, like you've seen, roughly $800 on 2 days. Well, it was 1 day, but overrun. So if we're going to see a good setup in the next hour or two, and if we switch on our favorite indicator for the kill zones, market sessions, we can see that we're currently hitting that 10 o'clock. So we have failed. We have taken the high, the previously high, but we haven't come into this area, which I was expecting to come around the 50%. Now, if the price comes up and becomes a premium price and retraces around this area, and if we label that area, I believe this is on the 4 hour. We're going to check that to make sure, but let's go on the 4 hour. It's not on the 4 hour, so let's put the 4 hour in. That one there, and that one there. So we tapped into breaking the previous daily high, and now it is reacting down. Now, what we have here, we have this big candle that hasn't been balanced yet, so we will see if this comes down. For me to be interested now, where this is an area where I do like trading, because we're trading around a previous daily high. My bias has been, obviously, you know, from my previous trade, I traded this upwards towards the previous daily high and this 4 hour fair value gap. I closed that position for some good profits. So now for today's trading session, we are interested in this area here. Obviously, this is not trading advice, and it's just for education and fun. So don't take any decisions upon what you're hearing on this channel. But in terms of education, this area for me is quite interesting. And if we take one of the ghost feeds, that price action to here would give me a nice entry to a continuation of this move. Why? Because this break here, these lows here, have still to be broken. We didn't take liquidity around this 4 hour fair value gap, and if you were gonna draw liquidity around this area, you would draw it underneath this swing low here. And let's change that. That will be sell side liquidity. So this is an area where I think the market will potentially come and take out. Now, what if I wanted to go short on this today? Why? Because we had that push to the upper side. We're taking previous daily highs. I would want to see the price come a bit higher, towards that 124,600, which gives you, I bet that is around the 61. Let's see. If we take that high to that there, 1, 2, what did we say? 4, 6 is right in the middle of that the golden zone of the Fibonacci retracement. So that is quite interesting, that we would want to take. Look where the 125,000 lands into, exactly to the 76.4. So these are two areas, 1 and 2, that I would be interested to short. So if the price goes there, I might think about it depending on time, and if this happens in the next hour. As we saw, London kill zone is now over. So what we need to think about is this a Judas move to take out the highs for a continuation down. If that doesn't happen in the next sort of half an hour, then this could potentially be a continuation to the upper side, and we need to see our setups and if we want to trade into the New York session. But what I've seen, obviously we've got news this afternoon on the dollar and the Canadian dollar as well. I don't know how that's going to be impacting because it's quite a big one on the dollar pairs. So yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm going to be quite patient with this today because I've already got my profits from yesterday, and it was quite good. We're running on the monthly round. What was it? 4,000 something. So I think we're on a good pace to hit anything above 8K for this month, which will be really good. And there we go. We've got the end of. It's coming out of that London kill zone, pushing downwards. Now I can enter on this fair value gap on the 4 hour. Let's see. It's not showing me much. Or I can see from why I go on the higher time frame, you can see this wick upwards. So this has still got pressure to the upside. I don't need to go to like the 5 minutes yet because I know that this is not giving me price action. Now if we hold this here, you've got a double top here. So in an ideal world, what we want to see on the 5 minute, break the highs, fills the fair value gap pretty much the whole way, and then retraces with an excessive candle. What we would need to see is a break of structure. So this breaks lower and then fills up fair value gaps, and then we enter down. But as you do this and you get familiar with the ICT concept, you don't need to see that. You can tell what's happening from the hour. So a lot of the times I'll be on the hour and I can see the setup without going on the lower time frames. For sure, I can see it on the 15 minute. If a 15 minute gives me a clear, if you put a line from here to here, and you can't identify sort of breaks of structure to the lower sides, that will give you a nice sort of, you want to see a price action, a strong price action break to the lower down to come back to fill fair value gaps before entering down. Can you enter long in this position? If you're trading Fibonacci, yes, because you're still not, you haven't hit that 50%. You can trade it into that fair value gap. The pressure is on the upper side. So if you're not a reversal trader, you can see how you can take that position to the long side. And like with everything, you can make money up and down. You just need to have a logical entry, and most importantly, to see where you're going to be getting out. So if we're going to go long to this, what's the worst case scenario? It fakes, it's a Judas move, comes all the way down to take liquidity where we discussed below this area here and here. So 106 pips. Can you handle 106 pips? That might be too much for you. So if you want to be long, you might have to wait for a retracement back to equilibrium for you to get a position to the long side, because that will be sort of 50 pips, which is a lot easier to handle. And if that's too much, even more, then you have to wait for it to come to the previous daily low to take a position long for 5 to 10 pips as a stop, if you're doing tight stops with ICT. If you want to go short, we're in a good position. We just have to wait for the right setup. So now we've got interest because why? the price, we had the sell-off, we had this expansion of price where it did lower, broke the highs, took out liquidity of the highs, took out liquidity of the lows. We look on the left side here. Took out liquidity of the left side highs and created the daily high of the previous day. Came down, took the liquidity below this swing low here and created, if we zoom in a little bit, created the lows of the previous daily low. And now it's come back up with a continuation consolidation, pushed up all the way up to the previous daily high. So we can be patient here and look for the perfect setup. Obviously we have some news and we need to be aware of in the afternoon. Do you always need to pay attention to the news? Yes, if it's big news, you can anticipate some movement. Does it change your analysis? No, because we're not doing this from a fundamental perspective. We have analyzed price and we're looking for liquidity draws. Either way, whatever the news is going to do, the algorithm will seek liquidity. So it doesn't matter what the news is. If the news is to go short, it might drag up to fill this fair value gap and then go short. So you still have your setup. But in volatile times, it might be you have to be a bit reactive and a bit quicker, because the price, when volatility is high, it won't just slowly candle go up and meet that area. It will just boom, go directly there. Within seconds, you might have to take out your profits, fill that fair value gap, and then boom, might go the other way down. So that is the only worry about news, is that you might miss your setups, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be changing your analysis around your liquidity draws. Because from my personal experience around NFP events and so on, even if it's selling off, you will see a fair value gap filling or liquidity draw that's going to be taken out before it actually delivers price and distributes price. Okay, that was a long worded sentence, but let's go back onto our charts. And another thing that we want to see, obviously like we do on the dollar index, is where is that coming to? We've added the same previous daily high, previous daily low. Now price, where is the obvious attraction for price to go to on the dollar index before it goes long? We have two areas. Obviously, if you haven't seen it yet, we've got liquidity below this area here and liquidity below this previous daily low. Again, comes into how much you can handle in terms of your risk management. Can it come down here? And you have to deal with, even if you're trading, you will be trading the pound dollar, but you can do the same thing in terms of pips, 137 pips on that move. Or do you wait for the price to come down, break the previous daily low, fill this nice fair value gap? Let's see how far it's been filled here. From that level to that level, bring it across. It's pretty much filled. Let's take that out. But there is still a little bit of price action to be filled here. And the next area, obvious area of fair value gaps, we would need to change that because we are on the 15-minute fair value gap. If you're not following with all this, I would recommend you going and doing the 2022 mentorship by ICT, Michael. And he breaks everything about fair value gaps and how to identify them, and that is the main way I trade my entries and pretty much the execution. The only difference that you will see in my channel is how I manage the trades, and I manage the trades with things that I've learned from the Scruffy trader, not going in full position size, and things I've developed for my trading, which I now call sort of repositioning, a method that I'm currently evolving to perfect it for me and no one else, and that's key. You might not be getting repositioning because it's developed for me. Now this area here is obvious. We've got a double there, that area there, and we're going to do, when you see two fair value gaps like this and you're like, do I take this? Actually, it's not a fair value gap, sorry. But let's say that was two fair value gaps, this one and this one. If there's two, one after the other, it's very highly that you're going to see it on a bigger time frame. So you might have to go on the half an hour, and that will make it more obvious. This is an example here, that fair value gap to there and that fair value gap to there. If you went on to like a 20-minute, candle, that candle would be one fair value gap, and you can draw the candles in a nicer way. But let's take the obvious one, this one here, and that's going to be again on the 15 minute. 15 minute fair value gaps are quite nice. They give you 4 15 minutes in the hour, so they work out quite well. And we're going to label that 15 minute fair value gap, and we're good to go. So now what do we have to do? We've got a sell-off on the dollar index with news coming. We just wait. We just wait for something to play out. We can see this is heavy, so there's no reason, there's no signs for this. Yes, you might say, well, this has filled this fair value gap here, and it's going to fail to break the lows. So I want to long the dollar index, which would mean I'll be selling off the pound dollar. But we're so close to areas of interest, which even if you miss this trade, isn't it better to wait for the extreme confirmation, this one and this one, to be able to say, okay, there's a lot of liquidity below this area here, all these long positions or short, all these sell side liquidity, which is sell stops for the profits, are below here, so that there's no reason why the price can't come down, tap into that liquidity before it reverses. So that is an area. Let's add this one in so we can see what happens. It's reacting to that fair value gap, but obviously that means that the dollar, if we switch onto the pound dollar, that means that it's going to be selling off there. Now if we put that on a 5 minute, can we see anything that is tradable? It is starting to show me some indication that this can break. Let's see how far we would have to go for 20 pips. Okay, so from the previous daily high and where equilibrium is, pretty much halfway to equilibrium, I would want to see a confirmation of a break. It comes back, retraces, fills fair value gaps for me to short this. Ideally, I want to have seen it fill the whole fair value gap, or even better, retraced into the 61.8, which is, if we zoom out, this one here, 61.8. If it tapped into that area, I would like to start there. Now, if I get wrong, if I'm wrong with this, that is far away to deal with. So I would want to see, I'm going to be waiting for this. I want to see a confirmation. If it doesn't happen, we've got good profit from yesterday. So not quite what we ideally want, which is $1,000 in 2 days, but we're close enough. $800 is good with me. So that is the breakdown. What I want to do now is just to follow a little bit on the discussion of the mindset, because I think, and I'm going to be seeing how many people tune off here, because a lot of people stay on to listen about technicals, but what they forget to do is to focus on the mind. And a lot of my trading has nothing to do, and my success in trading has nothing to do with how I analyze the market and how I'm able to manage a trade through my psychology and my ability to stay calm under potentially what might look like a stressful scenario to someone else. We need exposure to something to make it less stressful. It's like in the gym where you're lifting weights and suddenly the weights start feeling easier and easier. The only thing that's changed is your exposure to lifting those weights. Same scenario with trading. When you see things enough, you start creating those mind calluses that you're able to get out of environments, stressful environments, or create a stressful environment less stressful. So how can you do that? One is exposure to what you deem to be a healthy stress, because in anything in life that is worth doing, there is stress involved. But stress can be tamed like anything. It's a skill set. We're not talking about stupidity, because stupidity would be like, I'm not stressed, I'm going to leave this trade play out and see what happens. Who cares? That's not the mindset we're talking about. We're talking about the mindset of being able to say, I know what can go wrong, and I'm in this position now, and I'm going to breathe it out, and I'm going to get into a position where I can manage this trade out. And that is a very powerful realization to have. And when you find it and you're able to trade without a lot of stress, you start seeing pictures in the charts more clearly. And you have a clear mind, and you can, if you want to close positions or leave positions in, is not coming from the fear of missing out, or is not coming from being stressed to close the position, so you can feel good, getting that endorphin kick. So one tip for today is, if you are feeling stressed every time you're going into market, what does that mean? We have to break it down. Where is that coming from? What trauma in our life, and yes, it's trauma. You might not think it's like, I've had an amazing life. How can I have trauma? Trauma doesn't have to be the extreme versions of trauma. It always comes from childhood experience, and it might be, I'll give you an example. This is not talking to you specifically, but it might relate. Let's say one of your parents wasn't very responsive when you were a kid. Or one of the parents would neglect you when you were on the table. He would ignore you. So now fear of missing out is, you can track it back into a time when you're being neglected by your dad when you wanted to express yourself. And that is following through decisions in your life, and it's coming now into your trading. So fear of missing out, you might want to be involved because you want to express your ability to become a consistent trader, even though the setup is not there and you've missed the setup and you're going in a bit late. All this can play out, and we don't think about it because it's innate into our past. It's written into our body, and the body, like a very nice book, Body Keeps Score, is a good example of a book where it can explain how our bodies are pretty much a summation of our previous history, and how the history and the people that we've been talking to and living with affecting our lives. So having an understanding and start looking within to how the charts are, what are the charts bringing out in terms of your psyche? Are you feeling fearful? Are you overconfident? Are you closing positions too early? Are you letting runners run a bit too long and then they're reversing? All these things are nothing to do with strategy. They're all to do with us and our mindset and how our nervous systems are reacting to different scenarios on the charts. So if you are still listening to this, you have a chance in this, because I think it's one of the areas that everyone neglects. And because it's not that it's not exciting, because it is exciting. It is very exciting to find out what will make you a better trader, to become a better consistent trader when it's everything within. There's no trading indicator, it's all within. You can change how you receive information from the market just through training, exposing yourself, training your mind, and exposing your body and your mind into an environment that's going to make you better equipped to deal with whatever scenario is being thrown from the market. So if you want to learn a little bit about more about that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because about 50% of the viewers are not subscribed to the channel, and that hurts. It doesn't hurt that much, just because I do enjoy doing these, but it would be nice to hit that 5k subscribers. And as a reward, I've said that I will start building a community for you guys, either a Discord or a Facebook group. We'll see. But until then, we need to press that subscribe button. And if you're enjoying this, it just makes sense. Notification when the video is coming up, and then you can see the next video. Also, make sure you like the video, because that tells YouTube that I'm creating content that is useful to other traders. So for me, as a selfish note, I would love to know that someone who needs this information can get access to it. And he can only get access to this information if this video is pushed by YouTube. And that is through liking the video, sharing the video, and also subscribing to the channel. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I was going to share my Bali vlog. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait. I'm working on it. I'm editing it, and it will come out soon. But I thought today would be a good day of a tricky situation on the pound dollar. I hope you've all traded it well and you got out with some profit. We're going to see if this setup, I'm just going to switch on to, for a last little scene. We've seen the London kill zone has now finished, and now it's consolidating around that area. I would like this to come a bit higher before I start looking into this for a potential short. But obviously, this is not trading advice. The risk is all yours when you're taking these decisions, and this is only for education purposes. So I hope you stay safe, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you tomorrow, either a trading video or the Bali vlog, which should be fun. Have a good one.
I can't take no loss.